Hello everybody, I'm Kyofug, and today we are going to be going over my 70 personality types that I use to diagnose people on the spot in order to tell if they're a threat, a friend, a lover, or a fighter. Now you may have heard of my original 60 personality types. Now that system is completely faulty. If you have any documentation related to the original 60 types, I need you to burn them or shred them multiple times because that information was downright dangerous. It was very irresponsible of me to release it. But I assure you, these 70 personality types that we're going to do using this stack of 70 post-it notes, and we're going to write on them with this Staples Duramark marker. We are going to make some great progress today in educating the public. You are one of those, you are part of the public. I want to let you know that. In case you didn't know, you're part of the public, and I'm letting you know about these 70 personality types so that we can finally have a way to identify threats on the spot without any second guessing, without any rumination. Just you look at someone, boom, you're able to see, are they a threat? Are they a lover? Are they a fighter? What are they going to do? All right? So, if you'd like to follow along, please get a piece of college ruled paper and get a Ticonderoga or a tapioca, your choice, and take some notes of any personality types that you find especially frightening or exciting. Okay? Let's go ahead and straight away get right away to straight away. First personality type. This is the basic personality type. This is just normal. Let me show you. Here's what a normal personality looks like. This person usually likes to listen to music. They usually drive a car. Maybe they drive a Subaru. Maybe they work as, maybe they work in HR, and maybe they listen to, they listen to NPR, and they work in HR, TLDR. This is the normal personality type. So you have to consider when you see people like this, they're normal, and that means that they're not strange. So take that as you will. Some people find this threatening. I personally am indifferent because they're pretty lukewarm. They're just right down the middle. Some people get really excited about this, so keep that in mind. That's our first personality type, normal. I'll number these. So this is 1. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2. I'll put it up here. Number 2, let's go ahead and just boom, let's just get right into the deep end. This is someone who's cranky. Now, someone who's cranky, their nose is going to be like this. Note the 4 nostrils, the 4 nostril lumps. See, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's because they got to like breathe in, like huff and puff a lot because they're angry. Now, what do people when they're cranky and angry do? Angry is different, but I'm going to interchange them for now because I'm at a higher level. But you'll understand that there's a difference later. What do? They look at you like their beady little eyes and they're pissed, right? They're like, they're cranky. And look, gritting the teeth. Now, if you work with someone at work and they're mean to you, or you have a mother that's, maybe not so nice or whatever that you think about a lot, this is probably what they have going on. You probably recognize this, but now you know how to identify it. I'd say generally if someone's cranky, I'd generally say that's not good. But, you just got to watch out for these folks because you see the way they look at you. They really want blood. They want your blood. They want to attack you. They want to harm you. They want to hurt you. They want to get you. All right, let's move on. Some of these aren't so much. Like there's 3. Okay, 3 is balloon type. This is someone who's a balloon. Okay, so it's really simple. That's the balloon type. If you see someone that's a balloon, they're probably a balloon. You can kind of just go up to them, and you can go like this with the needle, and you can threaten them, and you can make them do whatever you want. Okay. So if you see someone who's a balloon, all you need is a needle, and then you own them. Okay, they're yours. Next up, this is someone who's this is the butt personality type. Not someone who is necessarily has a big butt, but this is someone who has a extremely large butt. So here we go. and maybe they're turning around to look at you. Now, generally their eyes are pretty beady because they don't need much personality because they have a very large butt. So that's them turning for you to see their butt. And you can see it's here, and it's a really, I mean, usually they're pretty caked up. But that's their whole personality is their butt. They usually have like 2 hairs that go like that. So that's the butt personality type. Moving on to number 5. This one's a doozy. This is someone who, there's not an English word for this I've developed, so I'm going to go ahead and just make up one on the spot. This is a conch, like K-O-N-K-Q-E-Z. So this would be sort of like, you know, you've seen someone like this, who's like the eye with the legs, and then they have the hand over here that has the 3 fingers, and then here they have the big circle, which has the, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do all of it, but they have all known, like all real numbers listed on their head, and they tend to like really love to just throw around like Generation 4 iPhones at people. I don't know where they get all of them, but this is definitely a lover. This is definitely someone you should definitely spend a lot of time with. If you find a conch, which let's just shorten it just to K-O-N-K, just for ease of use and just for good marketing. It's good marketing. This is this kind of thing you'd see posted on LinkedIn. All right, folks, let's move on. All right, that was number 5. Come on, counting. This next one, I'm not going to say it out loud. Again, we're starting to get deep into like the really real stuff that's not fake. The other stuff's real, but this is real. So let me get down to number 6. This one is the mushroom person. So let me show you. Here's mushroom person. They tend to look like a mushroom, except they're not. This is actually just someone from Long Island, but you'll mistake them for a mushroom. That's why we call them mushrooms. They tend to be very kind and very alert, and they'll let you know if there's an earthquake is going to happen, because they're very alert folks, and they're very in touch with nature because they look like a mushroom, though they are not a mushroom. Remember that. They are not actually a mushroom. Okay, moving on to number 7. Number 7, this would be someone who's passive aggressive. So this would be someone who's very passive aggressive, which means they're aggressive in a passive way. So usually these people have faces. Not all of them do, but I'd say a lot of them have faces, lips, and noses. Not all of them do. They tend to have facial features, and they tend to have arms with fingers, but that's not always the case. You'll find people who are very passive aggressive who maybe are missing some of those features, but I'd say they generally look like this, and they come at you with their arms out like this, with their arms out, and then they try to what is being passive aggressive? If anyone's ever been to therapy, you know what that means. Being passive aggressive means someone wants to kill you. Moving on to the next one. All right, number 8, folks. Okay, the next archetype is a personality type. The personality type is this. This is what it is. It's someone who is a box. Now, these box people who have this personality type, they tend to use Snapchat a lot. I don't trust anyone who uses Snapchat a lot. They're either like, I don't want to speak out of line here. So why don't we go ahead and speak inside the line? Usually people who use Snapchat too much are, and they are, that's the box. That's the sort of box personality type, uses Snapchat a lot. Let's move on to 9. Okay, so for number 9, this one's really simple. This is someone who has a really sexy, vibe. So this person usually will have like their knees really big from going on runs because it's sexy to exercise. And then, they usually have like a face here and a sexy face. And then they have their hand down here. And then they usually have a foot. Now, usually that foot is just one toe. And then that's it. This spiky part, I'm not going to say what that is, but I think we all know what it is. And then they have these 3 dots, which also I think you know what they are, but it's literally 1984, folks. We live in 1984. Check your calendars, folks. We can't talk about any of this stuff. We can't talk about it, but on these personality types, they got that all rocking. All right, let's move on to 10, the big 10. We're now into double digits. 10. Here's 10. Here's what 10 is. 10 is a personality type that is circle man. This is typically someone who's made out of circles, okay? So if you see someone who's made out of circles, then they're probably circle personality type and they're probably circle man. Usually look at something like this, sort of pig adjacent, sort of like creepypasta pig adjacent, very scary. And then obviously, like since we're here, we can go ahead and do the shapes. So there's square man, obviously, square man. No relation to SquarePants because, SpongeBob, here's the thing about SpongeBob, is SpongeBob had a lot of square attributes, but he was kind of lacking. This guy is all square all day, baby. This is the square man right here, okay. Oh, a little fumble there. I fumbled. I hope no one is like, oh man, this guy doesn't know how to do Post-its. Wow, okay. Just go past it. Just go, no one cares. No one's going to pay attention to the... Okay. All right. Next is the next one. Okay, number 12. This would be like the empath. So this would be like the empath personality type. So this would be someone who has a nose that's like this. Empaths usually have noses that are like that so they can poke people and be like, hey. They can poke people and poke with the tip of their nose and go like, hey, I'm an empath. Hey, did you know I'm an empath? Meow, meow, meow. And they poke you. They poke you in the shoulder and they poke you with their nose. And their eyes are like this because they're on they probably had 18 different Dunkin' Donuts coffee beverages that day. So they're pretty zooted. And then there you go. And usually they don't have a mouth. They just have a little speaker that plays an audio cassette that says, I'm an empath, meow, 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 I'm an empath. And also they probably have an Instagram account that they post a lot on. But they only post stuff that they want to, unlike cool people like me who post stuff because they think they have to, because they're Artman 9000. So that's the empath. Let's move on to 13. This next personality type would be the jealous type. This is someone, usually your nose just flies right up towards the ceiling. And you're also looking at the ceiling because it turns out most people are jealous of spiders. So they're usually looking at where are they? They're on the ceiling. So if you see someone looking at the ceiling like this, they're probably a jealous personality type, and they're probably just like really jealous of like spiders. So that's generally what they're doing in that situation. Okay, folks? Let's go ahead and move on to 14. Now, 14, it tends to be, when we're talking about personality types, people are really frightened of this kind. This is the kind of personality type where you're like, hold the phone. I need to be a little careful because this is a personality type that is maybe potentially not good, okay? This is someone who has a kind personality type. I know. Stick with me, folks. It's scary. It's really scary. This is someone who's kind. I'm honestly kind of nervous to do it. That's it. You know what that is. That's the kind person. It's frightening when you actually meet them. Okay. Why? Why is this so scary? I'll tell you why. You meet someone like this who's genuinely kind, and it makes you feel horrible because you realize you're kind of a pig. All right. 15. This is the stickman archetype. If anybody went on Stickpage, classic Flash game and Flash animation website, you remember there was stickmen. So this is same thing. This is a stickman. This is someone who looks like who is a stickman, and that's their personality type. Then there's Car Guy 1. So we'll go ahead and get Car Guy 1, number 16. Car Guy 1 is someone who drives an Infiniti, and who got this Infiniti used and is paying like $800 a month for it, and they paid way too much, and they still listen to Drake even after like the beef and everything, which is like, I'm not saying you have to be a sheep and you have to listen, so like you have to do what everyone else says, but like, come on, like you had an great out to stop listening to Drake, and you still do. So these are the guys who drive an Infiniti. Come on. Like, this is like Grindset, like reads Atomic Habits every morning, and then they have their Infiniti. Get out of here. But what's worse, the people who think they're better than that, and they're like, oh, I don't need a cool, like a fancy car. I need a bad, stinky car. but it goes faster, or like, because I'm cool and I fix cars and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that guy who's like Honda Civic. We all know, people are getting hip to this personality type. Honda Civic or Toyota and Toyota, and they have the hair like this, and I have the hair like this, and I have the baggy jeans, and I fixed the car, and I know how to fix cars, and I like to drift, and I like Berserk, and I like One Piece. It's like, come on, it's been done. It's been done, folks. All right. Wow, this is getting me so jazzed. I'm getting freaking jazzed because, like, I'm so excited. You all are gonna, I hope you're taking notes, but I mean, this will be archived, so you'll be able to return to this video. This is gonna save you so much grief. Like, you'll be able to avoid so many horrible interpersonal conflicts because you will have this knowledge. It's just fantastic. We're moving on to number 18 here, folks. Okay, so number 18, here's number 18. It is the I see you archetype. So we know where this is gonna go. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but sometimes things in life are just, there's no like subversion or punchline. It's just, when I say the I see you personality type and I open my eyes really wide, what do you expect? You expect someone with really big eyes. And all the other features are small. And that's what it is. That is what it is. It doesn't have to be a game. I don't have to play games all the time. But wouldn't you say, if I'm usually like, oh, subversion, and then with this one, I'm like, hey, it's on the nose. Then in a big picture sense, I'm still playing games. I'm kind of like Jigsaw from the movie Saw. Hey, shout out to all those movie lovers who saw the Saw movies. Those are movies. All right, next personality type. This personality type would be the person who's like, oh, I'm gonna eat eggs. They say that a lot. So usually their lips are turned out like this. Now, when you eat a lot of eggs, your lips kind of end up like, your lips kind of end up like this, and now you're gonna say this is kind of a duck-like creature. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an arithmetic. I can't tell you the chemical and biological reason why people who really crave eggs and communicate it clearly to people, why they end up looking like ducks. I'm just here to tell you that that's the reality. So if you see someone and they have like almost, their lips are still lips, but they're kind of crusty and long, and it looks like a duck bill, and they're asking for eggs, that's the personality type. And it's number 19 out of 70, folks. Come on now. Moving on to the next one is 20. This is the boomer shooter personality type. So this is someone who really likes to play Doom a lot. So usually what they look like is they look like this, because they're usually, you see their pointers are pretty hard. And I'd say that's because Doom is freaking sick, and they get to play a game that you can very easily access for free all the time. There's tons of great fan content out there. There's a huge community. It's a very fun game that you can keep getting better and better at over the years and grind. You can do speed running. You can do 100% complete on really hard maps. So if you are into playing Doom, like the classic Doom games, you're probably like, really like, you're like, boom, like cut glass, like rock hard here on there. All right. Next personality type. This would be sort of the like, I'm generally kind of sad kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Sad person archetype, stereotype, personality type. So this would be someone who, here's their tier, and then you have their, you have the eyes, right? And that's the tier right there. And then that's the nose, and that's the mouth, and then that's the arm and the leg and the arm. Their tier is like almost bigger than their whole body. That's how just S-A-D period they are. They are so sad. Next is the next thing. Did you know that? Can you fathom? Next is 22. Now, you're gonna have to slow this down because there's no way I could explain these next 8 without confusing it even further by trying to use English words and formal Western logic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say what it is. I'm going to try and insert some things. Most of it's not going to be English. And I'm going to draw them. And then you can just review it and study it. Use the glossary, the index, the Windex, and you can figure it out later. So here's the next one. This one's hanging. And this one is really, it's good. Now, you have to consider this personality. You have to consider it. And this is the issue, is that you have to consider it. So don't look. Okay. 23. Like I said, it's the next 8. Okay. So all the way through 30. Okay. This personality type. 5 for just like a blow of air at the end. But you can review the Duolingo page and you can talk to the owl and it will tell you, hey, how you doing with your name? How you doing with your name? That's what the owl says. 23. Moving on to 24. This one I can kind of, I can kind of get to it. Maybe so you'll understand. Like T-bone steak. Kind of. Like vaguely. That's that personality type, number 24. I guess I'll say the name out loud, but it doesn't mean much to you. That's what that is. 25. 25 is definitely one of them. Now, this one has the big and the kind of reminds me of your uncle. Let's move on to 26. This one is just simply the that's 26. 27. This one's the that's that personality type. You actually run into this one a lot, so I recommend you here, take a note of this. Take note of the beep, 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 and the here, and the tss, tss, tss. Take note of all that, because that'll be a good tell for when you meet them out in public. Let's do 28. We're almost through this section. I know this section's really difficult. It's really dense, but just make sure you're taking those notes, taking those notes, taking those notes, taking those notes. Hey, that kind of rhymes with what this one's called. This one's called tick, 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 tick. So let me show you. This one's just technically we're doing 9, but most of you watching can't count anyways. This one is just floors. Vicious, violent, a horrible creature. All right. And the final of this section. Now we're back in just the English standard zone here that you will be able you'll be able to understand. I was still in that last section, so I wasn't. Yeah, I had to translate in real time, folks. Okay, 31. This is the pistol personality type. So this is someone who's like, someone's like. This is like the pistol personality type. So if you meet someone who's a pistol, who's like a Glock, I would be careful with people who are the pistol archetype because they tend to switch up on you. But if they switch up on you, they kind of end up jamming. So, it kind of balances out. All right. We are on to 32. This is the muscles personality type. So this is someone who does gym and who does muscles. And they tend to look like this. So this is the muscles. This is the foot. They're mostly just muscles and they go to the gym. If you know anybody, maybe send this video to someone who goes to the gym and does muscles. Because I bet you they look a lot like this. And they're really happy because they get to eat chicky breast and broccoli, and they get to lift weights, and they're hairless because they do steroids, and their you-know-whats are really long and weird because they do steroids, and their belly button is really weird because they do steroids, and their you-know-what is weird because they do steroids. Not everyone who exercises does steroids, but everyone who lifts and weights, who is more in shape than me, is on steroids. Personality type number 32. Rated and weep. 33. Number 33 is someone who is a little creepy. So let's do the creepy guy. This is someone who's creepy. Creepy, creepy cauldron. Creepy, creepy guy. Creepy, creepy cauldron. If you hear that song playing, then that means he is close by. I advise you to be careful. Because he'll bore the heck out of you. This guy sucks. He's such a drag. He looks like he's gonna suck all your bone marrow out of you while you're still breathing. But you talk to him and he's just really, really, really into League. And he's such a pain in the ass to get through a conversation with. All right, 34. 34 is this personality type. It's the person who has the nose that goes, wee, and they do that so they can tickle themselves there. And they have the eyes that go, and they look at you, and they go, you suck, you suck, you suck. They're really dehydrated. They need a sip of water. That's why their voice sounds like that, and they can't finish a sentence. Let's go ahead and go to 35. 35 is someone that has big, juicy lips. Maybe send this to someone who has big juicy lips and they got tiny eyes and they got a weird shaped nose and they got juicy lips. Send this to someone if you know if they got this kind of, if this is, hey, look, okay, I'll talk to them for you. Hey, they sent you this because this is you. Okay? I haven't seen you. That's their judgment that this is you. Though, if they're viewing my content and they're enjoying it and they're learning, they're probably a very elevated person. So actually, you know what? I'm going to trust their opinion. That's you. That's what you look like. Okay, moving on. Number 36. 36, here's what 36 is. This is the kind of personality that goes like that tries to bite you. So they have big teeth, okay? They've grown these teeth through teeth exercises so that they can bite you really good and be like, this is the arch nemesis of big lip person. This person has no lips. They're just all bite. They're just oh, God, that was awful. Who did that? 37. Alrighty, folks. So 37, this personality type is the knife personality type. So this is someone who's a Bowie knife. And the problem is that they tend to talk a lot about like things that you don't care about. So they'll be like, I have feelings or whatever, and then they'll be like, you'll be like, oh, again with this. Please put them in a bottle. I'll leave it here. Let me show you. Hand them one of these. If someone's this personality type, they're a Bowie knife. Be like, put it in the bottle. Okay, metaphorically and literally. Moving on. 38. Bing bong. 38. 38 is, this personality is someone who's into synth. So if they're into synths, hey, maybe you know someone who's not, who's not with it and they do synth, send this to them maybe, or don't. you could don't do that. I don't think if you're using synthesizers all the time and if you're not using that money to invest, if you're investing in synthesizers and not in big money stocks, dude, you obviously have not bought my 9-day business course. I'll tell you that much. All right, 39. This tends to be somebody, but in some cases it's not. That's that personality type. All right, next up is 40. This is the big one. This is the big one, okay? This is the big one. Next up, 41. This personality type tends to be really spiky. This is the I'm a spike ball personality type. So if you meet someone who's like always bristly and always bothering you all the time, and who's always just a jerk and is really spiky generally, then it's probably this personality type. And they tend to have a lot of spikes all over them, and they tend to be spiky, and they tend to spike you and just try and grub your energy and grub it and rub it around and take your energy and put it into their pocket. And they're spiky and they're just an asshole, and you know where they live, and you post it on the internet, and you may make up some AI videos of them doing things they shouldn't, sending it to their job. They're spiky. Personality type number 41. Spiky. Next one, 42. This personality type is just the biggest lump, just bloop, and they have the little face, and they have the little hands and the little feet. Look at that. That's your best friend, Mr. Lump Man. Be friends with the lump personality type. They're good. Here's the next one. This is an overachiever. So this is someone who wears a tie, and they're like, I'm an overachiever. I use LinkedIn. I'm an overachiever. I use LinkedIn. I'm an overachiever, and I'm on LinkedIn. Check out my AI course. 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 That's what they sound like. All right, number 44. 44 is definitely my favorite. This tends to be Triangle Man. You thought we were done with the shapes. We're not. Triangle Man, Triangle Man. This is Triangle Man. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There's triangle pecs. There's triangle hands. It's Triangle Man. Triangle Man, number 44. My favorite personality type, folks. Keep track. 45. This is the person called Bastard. This means they're a bastard, okay? They look like this. It's pretty simple. Bastards look like this. They got a nose. They got some eyes. Here's the bastard. They got lips. Their head's shaped like this. They have a hand like this. Check this out. Boom. They got a foot like this. Boom. A foot like this. This is the bastard. Boom. They got 3 hairs. 1, 2, 3. This is a bastard. Send this to your bastard. All right. 46. This is the personality type, the personhood that is the tank personality type. So this is someone, now when I say tank, I don't mean someone who's like, wow, this person's really like jacked. They're a tank. And I also don't mean, oh, this person's really into Stalin. They're a tanky. No, I mean like they're a tank. Like boom, boom, like in the game Battlefield 4, and they're tanks. Number 47. Now for 47, this personality type is the super, super slick kind. So they got that hair, they got the widow's peak, and they got it slicked back. Now these people tend to have really pale skin, okay? And they tend to have teeth out like that, and they tend to have a really high popped collar, and they tend to suck blood. That's what people who are really like the slick personality are like. All right, 48. 48. This one is pretty simple. It's just the lumpy nose. So if you see someone and their nose just lumping around, then that's probably a lumpy nose. So you got to be aware of those lumpy nose people. they tend to get pretty feisty around New Year's because they always drink a lot of Prosecco, and then they start fighting you, and they do jujitsu, so they start rolling around with you, and then the bouncer comes up and he has a taser, and then he attacks the man with the lumpy nose, and then he pees himself, and it turns out that's what he was aiming for the whole time. That's where he gets his rocks off, is getting attacked by a bouncer and getting tased on New Year's off a few bottles of Prosecco. Moving on to number 49. This would be the politician. Politicians tend to be horrible, but when they're not, they usually are anyways. We just haven't found out yet. This is a politician. They usually have hair like that, and they usually have a mouth like this. They usually wear a tie and a suit, and they usually have a body, and they're usually they radiate this delicious baked cinnamon roll smell, and that's the only reason people come out to vote, is because they want to get a bite of that yummy cinnamon roll, if you know what I'm saying. All right, 50, the big 50. Hey, shout out to all those people who just turned 50. If you're watching this and you just turned 50, congratulations. What'd you do for your birthday? All right. Hey, this one's dedicated to you, all those 50-year-olds out there. This one is the big chin. So this is someone who has a big chin. Now, there's been a lot of talk about looks maxing and chads and all this mogging and all this stuff. But here's the thing. None of that stuff is actually, none of it's funny, and none of it's jokes, none of it's real. You've been using a little device that just gives you hallucinations in your hand, and they thought it would be really funny to throw this stuff in, and somehow you bought it. That's on you, not me. All right, next personality type. This is the personality type that's just like wiggly and like all over the place. So they're like, woo. Now, when people are like this, they tend to be extremely erotic and extremely kind. Very involved in the BDS you-know-what community. And they tend to get down real freaky-like in the night hours. Now, the reason they do that is because they have the wiggly arms, so they can get really freaky-deaky. But if you don't like this sort of thing, then it's okay, because they'll go slither their arm back into its socket and walk out of your house. Even if it's 3 a.m. and they just appeared, they'll leave. Number 52. 52. Now, here's a crazy one. This one is the person with all the toes. Any person that's ever lost a toe, it is materialized on this person's one foot. Now, the reason they're so happy is because they live such a well-balanced life. Because they say toes give you balance. If you have all the lost toes, you're gonna be balanced as heck, man. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to 53. 53. Now, this is gonna blow your mind. 53 is, listen, 53, this one is crazy. Now, the crazy archetype is something you have to watch out for, because if someone's crazy, then they're a little bit cuckoo and they're kind of a fruit and nutcase. So you better watch out, because they might key your car and they might unsubscribe from your YouTube channel. And you know what happens when people do that? You're obligated to find them and grab their finger and make sure they press that red button. And they'd be crazy to do that, right? 54. Close the door. This personality type is someone who just really bends their hand, and they bend it into a fist, if you guessed it, and they punch people. That's right. Wannabe UFC fighters who will never step in the ring because they're scared of pain. So this is a guy who goes and does jumping jacks at a gym that costs a lot of money. That's just a room with a couple of punching bags and pull-up bars in it. And they go in there and they lift weights and they're on TRT and they're jerks and they have big rippling muscles and they're terrified of going in the ring with anybody. because they're terrified of pain and confrontation and losing. But it's easy to do, like to skip rope until you vomit and to post videos about it and think you're cool, but to never actually fight anybody. I'm not saying you have to fight anybody, but you talk about it a lot, and then all you do is do like burpees and stuff. Like, that's cool. I think that's all sick. But then why do you have to add that you're like such a tough guy? Stop lying to yourself. All right, next up, 55. I love it when it's two of the same number. It's like, wow, I'm so lucky. Wow, two of the same, I'm so lucky. Yep, I was building it up, put a little Easter egg in there. This is the lucky archetype. This is someone who's really lucky. This is someone who gets a lot of money. Because remember, what do we want? What do we want? We want money. They're lucky. They get a lot of money. What do they have? They have no teeth. They just have a tongue. Why? Because who wants to deal with teeth? The dental payments. They're lucky. They're born without teeth, so no dental payments. All they have to do is lap up ice cream and protein powder. That's all they have to do because they were lucky. They were born that way. Look at him. Look at him. That's a lucky person. Number 55, personality type, lucky. Number 56. Number 56. Now, 56 is a little hard to describe. Thank you. If you saw the way my eye moved when I first started this page, this 56, I was actually moving my eyes, making micro adjustments, and communicating to you what this was. It can only be communicated through small adjustments of the eyes. That's number 56. All right, number 57. This one is really vital. This one is the melting into a puddle personality type. This is someone who's melting, and they tend to be all melty. You should really help them. I don't think that's a permanent condition because, well, I mean, they're going to keep melting until they melt all the way, and then they're gone. So I'd really recommend you help them because they're in a lot of pain. They usually sound like, so scrape them up off the ground, put them in the freezer, they'll solidify. Add some cornstarch, thicken them up a little bit. All right, number 58. 58 is the big personality type. This is someone who's got the big smile. This is someone who's got the big eyes. This is someone who's got, you guessed it, they got the big firm handshake. That's all you need to do, right? That's what they to have a big personality. You just said smile, eye contact, handshake, handshake, handshake. Smile, eye contact, handshake, sales, LinkedIn, handshake, handshake, AI optimization, take the course, handshake, eye contact. Number 59. This one is the snake. Snake personality type. Now, most people say, oh, you're a snake, you betray people, whatever. No, this generally means you're a snake. It just means like, or whatever. And like fangs and like eating rats and that sort of thing. All right, 60. Now, number 60 is the zombie personality type. This is someone who smokes a lot of weed and their eyes hanging out, and they might eat, organs like human meat, and they also might like play a lot of Apex Legends, and they also might, they probably drive a Fiat and have a lot of cope about how Fiats actually aren't that bad. You just had to replace the transmission every 2 seconds. What a great deal. They look awesome. I love how dorky and small, like genuinely. They look so cool. They're pieces of shit. If someone could please design a car that is like that tiny, but like functions really well. Like I drive a Yaris. That's a nice little guy. I want even small. I want a little tiny little guy, a little go-kart. I want the freaking little ladybug cart for Mario Kart. That's what I want. All right, 61. Okay, 61 is the big old boot. Now, you might know a lot of people who like to lick these, especially people who use military jargon but were never in the military, and also people who, I'll say it straight up, people who enjoy watching movies. You bootlicker, you watch movies. 62. 62 is the big tongue. So this is someone who comes and laps up your face and laps it up blah, 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 all the time. So maybe you know someone like this who goes bleh, and they're looking down at you as they're doing it, because that's what really gets them, is when they see your reaction to the licking. That's the big tongue personality type, the big lap it up personality. If you know anybody like that, be careful, because they'll lick you right up like an ice cream cone. You ever seen Joe Biden eat a vanilla ice cream cone? That's what they'll do to your face, folks. Or does he eat chocolate? 63. 63 is the standing on business personality type, a new trendy phrase that the kids like to say now. So this is someone who's standing on business. So they're usually standing, and we have to make their face look serious. And they're usually standing on business. It doesn't matter what the business, that's their business. It's not my business. That's their business. They're standing on it. What does it sound like? I don't know. That's their business. It's not mine though, so I shouldn't even get into it. I shouldn't even draw on that, because they're standing on their own business. It's not my business. I'm being so nosy. Oh, that's the next personality type. How did you know? 64. Like the game console 64, remember? Remember that? Nosy. This is someone who's really nosy. So they have one nose here. They have another nose here. They have another nose here with the nostrils. They have their eyes. They just have two of those. They have another nose here. And then they have a mouth over here. They have all those noses. Here are the eyes to make clear where the eyes are. Now what they do is they sniff around other people's business. And they sniff around and they say, hey, look at this. I made a new Death Note fanfic. And they sniff you. It's horrible. If you see anyone like this, realize that they should probably be sent to Guantanamo Bay for the contents of their Wattpad account. That's all I'm saying. Number 65. I know. We're going to get through it together. You're thinking the same thing. We're getting close to something that we don't want to have to do. We'll get through it together. This is the really tired. This is the really tired personality type. This is someone who's always sleepy. They're sleepy. Zonk, zonk, zonk. They just sip on NyQuil all day. And they just, for breakfast, they just have a bowl of melatonin. And they're so sleepy. And they have nice hair and they sleep. And they don't have much stress because they sleep. They have a little drool because they're sleeping. If you know anyone who's sleepy, maybe send them this and they'll realize what they've been doing wrong this whole time, you know? I don't want to do it. You know what's coming up. All right, here we go. This personality type is the Bingle. Say hi to Bingle. He says, I love to play on my Nintendo Entertainment System. That's what he says, and that's how he says it, because this is the Bingle personality type. If you know anyone who likes to play on their Nintendo Entertainment System, then I bet they're a Bingle personality type. Number 67. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Number 67. Number 67, yep. That's the number we're on. Personality type, let's go. This is someone who uses the internet. Note the tear. Note the frown. Note the lack of other people around. Number 68. This is the fish. If you see someone and they're like, blue, 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 and they're kind of, their eyes are on the side of their head, and they have like scaly skin, and they're kind of, you're kind of underwater when you talk to them. Probably a fish. Send this to your favorite fish friend. All right. One of my favorite numbers, the weed number, folks. You know the weed number, 69. This personality type is the constantly on edge, I'm so worried personality type. Usually their eyes are like this, and they look like this. If you know someone who's extremely worried, you should tell them about all the great new headlines going on the Associated Press website. They'll love it. They'll love it. It will cure their anxiety. Tell them about all the current news in U.S. politics. And the final personality type. Keofug. What does Keofug look like? Well, that's how you write it. The Keofug personality type usually looks like this. It looks like a person, like your standard person, who makes art. That's the person drawing a face. And they have a crown because they're the freaking king of making art consistently because they want to. Yes, folks. And educating people. We'll do the glasses because nerds educate people. That's the Keofug personality type. Read it and weep. All right. Well, that's the last real page. We're down to the nub. So that was all the personality types. So we'll go ahead and do the credits. My name has been Keofug. And this has been the 70 personalities of life. We'll do of life because it's of life. And we had the room. This is the 70 personalities of life, folks. So if you ever run into somebody, you can always consult this, and you got all your evidence here of what they are. You know, you can check. Are they crazy? Are they worried? Are they a snake? Are they a person who's slick? There's so many options. So I'll say to you now, thank you so much for watching. Go to my YouTube channel at Keofug. Go check out the other full lectures. Go to at Keofug on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube, and look at the short little contents we put out on there. There's clips from the bigger videos as well as a few other bonus content things. You can check my website, www.keofug.online, to check out my cool artwork that takes time and a lot of... if you want to see that too. I really appreciate it. Send this to someone who needs to get a little more educated and learn about everything, because I'm going to cover every topic. Just give me some time and do all the stuff. Thank you again very much, and I hope you have a really good day. Thank you.